this is a team that absolutely fascinates me because this win total, I think the casual fan will look at this and go, what the hell? USC 7.5. But there is a definitive path to under.
Yep.
Because the poop can start rolling downhill real quick if it doesn't work out. But it's also, if the defense is better, we're probably talking about a fairly easy over.
Yeah, I put SC and Oklahoma, Andy, as my most fascinating teams this year, knowing the prowess they've had in a conference prior, both changing conferences, and I don't know what to expect from either. When I look at SC and Oklahoma, I like Oklahoma better because I'd rather have a defense to fall back on than an offense with a new signal caller. And reading some of the numbers and how many pressures and times sacked Caleb Williams was because of a bad offensive line, and he was Superman back there. I mean, he's one of the most elusive guys, not the fastest, not the quickest, but how good his pocket presence was. And talking to scouts, and when they would watch his film and be like, he against Notre Dame, he had like 10 realistic dropbacks because they put so much pressure on him. Now, was some of that based off his pre-snap read, which he got wrong? Maybe a couple, but not all of them. I mean, it was close to 20 pressures and hurries, and in the quick game. So with Miller Moss, I'm never going to doubt Lincoln Riley on the offensive side. Never. He does a great job of playing to his strengths. Branch is still, I think, going to have an all-time season with the versatility he has and knowing that Lincoln, how good he is. Lincoln does a great job of getting what great coaches do, right? Get the ball to your best player. But I do wonder about that offensive line now going to the Big Ten. Like I talk about, the diversity of defense you're going to face in that conference. I think there's a lot of Miller Moss. I love the story. Love how he never, thought about leaving. Lost LA kid, wanted to be a Trojan. But I wonder, when we start talking about these teams that are making the shift to a different conference, the depth. I don't care where you're going. You're going to face battles and adversity you didn't in the previous conference. And the Big Ten is known for their play up front. And as SC have that, they're only going to be better on defense. Now, I will say what might help them is you're not going to face as many lethal offenses as you did in the Pac-12 and having to play, in Notre Dame that had an NFL quarterback, say, in years past. So will it even out? No.
LSU and Notre Dame in non-conference, I think.
Because I don't know what they are going to – when you look at that schedule in its totality, and, I'm not even talking about travel. I that's the most overrated thing, I think, the way I know these teams travel. But, Penn State, all right, yeah, great, you get them at your place. What's your record going to be? What are you going to be at the end of September? I'm pretty sure it was you that documented or, other guy or other buddies on how – they did try and get out for the last 2 years of this first game. You don't know what you're going to look like. Like that offense, I think LSU is going to have the best offensive line in the country. What are you going to be out of that game? Are you going to lose 52-35, but, you were down a bunch and made some headway late? Are you going to be able to compete? But are you going to be able to get back up in week 2, knowing the totality of that game if you were to spring the upset? I don't know. I wonder about that depth. Going through the recruiting, he's done a great job of getting skilled guys. And that's the funny thing is with this changeover, how many more teams are going to look to freshmen to be difference makers? That kind of worries me going into the big conference and knowing the stability that the Big Ten has. Well,
I'm with you on that. I like if they lose to LSU and lose to Michigan, they have to beat Wisconsin. Otherwise, things get real dark real fast. Yep. And that's because at Minnesota is not going to be easy. People don't realize the Max Brosmer Darius Taylor combo is going to be a lot of fun. And then you play Penn State.
Yeah,
it's.
I would put LSU, Michigan, Penn State up there with top 5 most physical teams in college football.
And then you have Notre Dame at the back half of the schedule. And by the way, Rutgers, which you're playing at 8 p.m. Pacific time after a World Series game, and Nebraska are going to hit you in the mouth as well. Yep. That's the part. It's just a cumulative effect of this.
Yeah.
So we'll do another bonus here because you brought up Oklahoma, and you're right. USC and Oklahoma fall in the same bucket in terms of the over/under part of it. but not necessarily in terms of what to expect. So USC, I'm with you. I lean under there. Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples On 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.